Hi guys, Dan here. It's a pity to break the sound of the nice babbling water. I've just come for a walk not far from where I live, a place called the Pool of Reflections, and you can see up the creek there behind me, and we're in this big valley here. It's on the Williams River. It's on the upper reaches of the Williams River, and I'll just show you behind where I'm sitting at the moment. Here's the actual pool right here. You can see how deep it is. I'm really looking forward to jumping in there, maybe on the weekend. It's a little bit cool at the moment, so not right now. And then down here's the pool. And we're sort of deep in a valley here with these rocky cliffs just right up against, so that sort of helps make the pool deep. So it's only very small, but it's quite deep. You could easily, probably stand, especially down there a bit, you could probably go fully under. And yeah, there's these really nice bird nest ferns as well. I think that's what they're called. Can you see them? Just up there. And they're all through the walk. It's probably about a 3k walk up here from the car park. And all through pretty much jungle. And it's just a really nice spot. The sound of the water. These stones here. I love stones. And just the sound of that water trickling down, and there really is reflections everywhere, so it's called the Pool of Reflections for a good reason. There's all this sort of vine coming down into the water. It reminds me of that painting called Ophelia, that pre-Raphaelite painting with with Ophelia sort of floating in the water, which is interesting. I'll show you these ferns. They're really cool. They're just like something you'd see in a gardening book or in a nursery. They almost look like they're man-made, but they're not. So you can see one there, just looking at it from underneath. And then there's one here. Check it out. And this one's a bit lower down. I'll have to see what they are. I'm not really sure what they're called. But this is, from what I understand, what they call Gondwana forest here. So this looks like one that's just starting to grow. It's like a baby one. And look at this, check it out. There's one on the branch here. A low branch. It looks like a baby one. It's just starting to grow. It's really cool. And then they end up big like that. That's actually about 3 or 4 feet across. So I'm just going to start heading back now. It's probably about an hour. Even though it's only 3k's, it's quite a slow track. And there's lots of these sort of windy little bits that go around little bends in the creek and everything. So, time to de-reflect. And welcome to the Pool of Reflections. Goodbye, Pool of Reflections, you've been good. See you again soon. Bye. G'day guys. There's lots of trees around here. I'm in a forest. Generally forests have lots of trees. But interestingly, behind me is a really big one. And I just thought I'd share it with you all how big some of the trees are here. I'm not sure what they're called. I'll have to look that up. But most of the trees around here are these sorts of things. These small sort of trees, and like this one as well. They got a lot of moss on them and lichen and stuff. I think they're called coachwood, and they tend to have these sort of viney runners coming down off them. Sort of real Tarzan swing around the forest type things, and you really can almost. Some of them are quite strong. And they sort of wind around each other. But then every now and again you just get this monster of a tree, like this one. Check it out, it's huge. I mean, if I was to measure that, I'm sure it'd be 10 feet across or something. It's really big. See, right behind me here, I don't know if it really does it justice. If I go up nice and close, then it's just a really big tree. It's really hard to fit it in one frame there. But it's tall, but it's not super tall. It's surprising how it kind of goes up really thick, and then it sort of runs out of juice. So I'm not sure. I have to look it up. It's really interesting. Huge tree. So I'm just walking through the forest, mainly coachwood forest, I believe, with these large trees and these sort of bird's nest ferns everywhere. I don't know if you can see them up there in the understory. There's all of these sort of ferns growing sort of halfway up the trunks of coachwoods. I think they're growing on coachwoods. And yeah, it's just a really good environment. It's very cool, even though it's summertime now, and the sun's shining, and it wasn't a super hot day, but the air is cool but extremely humid, and the ground is damp, and it's a lot greener as you drive up here from Dungog area. It's all yellow and dry at the moment, but when you come to within 5k's of this area, it suddenly gets green. So the mountains around here in the Barrington tops generate sort of their own little climate, their own rainfall. You get more rainfall than you do even just 20 kilometres away. So I'm on a place called the Rocky Crossing Track, and check out these trees, enormous, big trunks on them. They're huge fellas, very impressive. I just thought I'd talk about the ground, because as you've seen in my gardening sort of talks, I like to talk about soil, and the soil in the garden, but I thought this is a great example of soil just in nature. And you can see how it forms, and when people talk about no-dig gardening and also mulching, what that is what you're looking at. So we just got leaf litter piled on the top of the ground. There's nothing really turning it over except the old lyrebird, but leaf litter just sitting there, and eventually it rots and then new leaf litter falls, and you get this sort of stratified horizon. So new leaves on top and then mulchy leaves under that, and then it starts to look a bit more like soil down there. But a lot of these new ideas in gardening and no dig and no till agriculture, they're really just feeding off what nature already does in the forest. There's another thing in gardening, especially in organic gardening, referred to as hugelkultur. And hugelkultur is a German word, but what it means is burying wood under the soil so it rots away, and you can the organic matter that the wood provides sort of leaches into the soil for decades potentially if it's a big enough log. And there's people who do hugelkultur to grow things. And if you just look around here, you know, there's some, that's what hugelkultur is. It's just logs falling down and they rot. And it just keeps the organic matter in the soil higher. Bridge closed, oh no. If I fall through, I'll capture it on film. I survived. So anyway, just thought I'd share that. I was hoping we'd see some lyrebirds or something. I've already seen a couple of lyrebirds. I saw a snake. I saw a red-bellied black snake. Just probably about 4 feet from me. Going really quick too, because it's been so warm. They move really fast. This track's got so much leaf litter on it, it's like if no one walked on it for about 4 weeks, you'd have trouble finding it. There's a bit of a formation. You can see the shape of the ground here, how it scoops in a little bit where people have been walking and where it's been cut out. If you're ever trying to find a path when there's a lot of leaf litter, or if you're ever trying to find a path where everything's dry and just dusty, not like here but in other places, sometimes the shape of the path can be a good indicator. So if you can see a slight depression, it can be an indication that you're on the right track. Here it's pretty obvious because there's no actual plants growing in the track. We've got some more Tarzan vines here. Another really big tree. It's like reallybigtree.com around here. And then look at them. And ferns again. Amazing. I'll have to check them out, see what they're called. They're definitely parasitic. Seem to be growing on the trunks of things. Alright, I'm not going to leave you to it. I'll trip over otherwise. Catch you later.